The second thing is that the skin is on the border, and no Icelandic is going to stop saying that there is no such thing as humanity, that they kill mercilessly wherever they are, and then they arrest them and take their Icelandic people with them, like Chinese warship with thousands of Japanese and American soldiers in captivity. Those who do not know how long they have been waiting for them will be seized in a field of sight, and they will be imprisoned in a merciless prison. Before that, the ships touched the earth and the warships raided it, and they were plunged into the water. Then we saw the morning sun, something on the edge of the moon. Then there is a Japanese man, and then he has a chain in his feet. It was the one that was in the middle of the night. And not only that, there were two other people there, one of whom was an American, and one of whom unknownly died, and the American is alive or not, we don't know. So Taro now pulls out a gun and shoots it, but in that moment he gets up and a terrible fight starts between the two. We see that both of them have chains attached to their feet and that they are both prisoners. Andrew is falling heavily on Taro, and then this black shadow pulls Andrew into the depths of the sea, and at the right moment Taro shoots him with his gun, and then whatever was there, he runs away, and then seeing this black shadow, both get shocked. They realize that there was nothing to be gained from such a fight, so if they were to survive, they would have to stay together, otherwise they would not be able to survive for a long time after killing one. And when they saw the ship carrying them out of the same ship, they saw that the ship carrying them was in the vicinity of the same deep. And when they opened the ship, they would not have to choose to eat and drink for a few days, for they were worthy of spending a few days in it. Then they will not be able to help themselves. The fish caught the fish before dark. Then he gave them to the great. They both ate it because they were hungry. But now they will have to think about what to do now, because there is no point in staying here, and they will have to free themselves from these chains. Taptaro remembered that the same voice he had in the box, so he started to scream, but there was no preamble coming out. June Andio felt a little weird, because if the target was slightly bitten, his foot could go, but the wires believed him, so he said do, and he was right. The chain broke in one fell swoop. Both were free. Andio was quite happy, not knowing how many months later he was walking barefoot. Believe me, the sound of the chain breaking creates a solution. Gone. And the birds flew in the sky, and the sound of someone walking behind the wires. When he saw it. Strangely reversed footprints. There were so many I saw that two Japanese scenic, a local fish. Hold on to it. But they are not saying anything right. Now the wires are afraid of Indio to catch themselves, because they have left evidence of their presence there. If they caught sight of them, it might get into trouble, but here the wires themselves decide to deal with them both, and ask to hide from Indio as soon as they are both approaching. Then they saw a burning ashes, and they lost even more seats. Then a man took them there, and the cloak was removed. It was Taru whom they heard the Japanese Basha, and they realized that he was the servant of their own land. He lied, saying that he had flown here in the morning, and now he did not understand where he was going. Now Andrew was hiding in the bushes and watching all this, and then he saw something strange in his distance. And he saw them, 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 and he did not see them. As if he was touching his eyelid, like the wind. And around, these soldiers saw two water bottles. They suspected something. Starzon has avoided this thing as an excuse, but in so many, a soldier's eyes lie on an American dress lying nearby. He was taken down by Andrew and looked at him and pointed to the other scenes in the eyes, which both now stood up and shocked the sheet placed on the wires, which showed them pieces of cut chains at his feet. He proved to them that this is no ordinary scene. Rather, he is a prisoner of war who has betrayed his country. Before they punish him, from someone. Then he heard the sound of a loud voice. Then he said, "I'm here. Why did you come back to us?" The father came only in his tongue. There was only one word on his tongue, the head of a fish. He seems to have done it before. I saw him inside and started looking around. Then there is a dark shadow behind it. Then he turned his hand away from his wickedness. It was the young man. The screaming outside cools the blood of all people. And take advantage of that opportunity, Andrew. Whoever killed the child in the throat of the child. And then he turned them both upside down. They hid behind. And then there was only one child whose face. He was afraid of death. Then he will die a painful death. So he began to run away and could not go far. And they both took a long jump and dragged their iron on his stomach, whose middleman died there. Seeing the terror, they went into the forest and turned their backs and ran away, not knowing that they were behind them. Suddenly the Andy's foot turned and he fell there. It was the first time he had been so close. Then he saw the strangeness of mankind. You can eat about, and it seems that Andio is his next victim, but Taro will not let it happen, so he attacks him and follows him and takes Andio and starts running away again, and they both did not know when they were separated from each other and woke up in a deep ditch. In the morning, when he saw the light, he did not see the darkness and the light and the darkness and the light. There was a stick on his shoulder that hurt him a lot. Although it is wherever he stood, he served as a servant, because he hangs on a flag that your head he is going to break before him. Then he went into the cold water, but he took it as his own. Then he came to the edge. He looked at the rock where he was standing. When he saw it, he became very angry. I understand that if I have it myself, John is the only one. It is the way, and it will return to the third part of the sea. So he begins to walk beside the river, and he is already exhausted, and his evilness is soaked from above, and his joints begin to ache. But he did not give up, and he went a long way. After coming today, he decided to rest. But when he washed his neck and twisted, there was a giant soft, except me sitting. But if he moves a little, then the next lip will be in his mouth, so he did what he did. But I did not pay attention to him, and the chip went into the water. He has chosen the way of the mountain, then he will lead him there to the slogan of haste, then show him again the grain that sits in the slogan of the river, cleaning his wounds. Then a crocodile came out of the water and dragged it in. Andrew was very happy to see this. He died. Then he came back and took his hands. Then the jaws of the crocodile are separated from the jaws of the crocodile. Look at his breath, and it's very much true. It's dangerous, that's why. Then he turned his back on the other side. The river is on its way. Then his hands became his sword, which is a good thing for him. Not only that, but his eyes, and then the body that hangs from the ground, as it were. He fell into a pit where there was something like that. His eyes are torn apart where his eyes are torn apart. Gone was the son of the same demon there, but died Yaniki. Not only is he here, but he is now full. Courage. He went outside and went to the corpse. The pilot was there and he was hanging out. The son of the demon will be dead because he gets some bullet lying. The stars have a gun with his hand. Took it and then went ahead, but now the path is over. Is it dense forests? You have to go through the middle of what can be dangerous. That's why he dare. After going a little distance, he also got that crash fighter jet, so the same pilot gradually began to fall in the day, that is the danger. The bell is gonna survive today because as much darkness is the danger of life as much as wandering Andrew. Near the same crash plane. And he did not go beyond it because he came up with an idea to make them weapons from the metals of the same plane, so he took it upon himself, and after a while he made him a weapon that he could make for himself. Some of the equipment in the cockpit got into his hands, but the most important thing was an active missile launched under the plane, which rings his brain and saves him. And the one who saw him, and the two of them came together at once, said, "There is a cave ahead, where he has seen some strange things." Both of them go into the cave, where a giant egg was hanging, which was of the same wisdom, and you said to blossom it over there. And two of them said, otherwise it would keep moving and killing people. And the wise would say that if they did that, they would get angry, which could be dangerous to us. Then, and you had an idea, why didn't they kill the colonels with the help of this phenomenon? and then they both barely separated the phenomenon from the plane and brought it closer to the cave, and now there is a new trouble in the time architecture of the phenomenon that can now be fixed by any sound. But they had nothing to do with it, and then the Andes remembered that the axe that was in the cockpit, so she immediately ran away and brought it, but now she has eaten the battle and it seems impossible for her to come out. Now in the cave, the wire is back, the wire alone is ready to fight him. Because now Andrew, because the axe is still not coming out of Andrew, the wire alone is not enough for him. Because he is picking it up very badly, and all of a sudden Andrew brings out the axe and he stabs him several times. The two of them were now hitting him, then the shields were heavy on him, then he suddenly disappeared into the same darkness. Then Andrew came to the end of the shield, and so he ran and he fixed the timer, but in that moment he returned the shields and snapped at Andrew. His whole stomach he tore with his shin, and the wires stood behind him. He tried to take it away. But now nothing is working, and in the same rage he shoots the egg which is inside him and falls to the ground. He also realized this bit in you because his end had come and he asked the wires to go, and he could not believe how he could leave him alone so he would read what to do. So he came out, and a few bridges later a terrible explosion in the cave and everything ended the same fire. Why did he go to the edge with slow steps? But then we found something that makes anyone conscious, Dana. He was still alive, yes. Even the evil explosion did not hurt him much. But now the wires took either R or cross. He took out his samurai sword from which he came to him and struck him several times in secret, though he was mixed with it badly, but he brought it to his knees and did not kill him. For he knew the truth, that this is the house of him whom he was killing, and that we are all heavy men who are destroying his house. So he left it and went away. And after running the flat, he passed out. When his eye opened, he was on a US Navy ship, and they found him with the American Army Ballot of Andy. Whoever she sees with quite a gun and asks what actually happened to her, the wires look out and start telling their own story, lost in the memory of the days when her friend Andy had sacrificed himself to live, and in the dark we see the same grain stop up. Joe is now sitting in the distance of his next victim, and the story ends with the same dream. Bull, how you feel about the story, I will definitely tell you by commenting. Thank you in the next video.